This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is John Teeling, the chairman of Arkle Resources. Hello, John. Thank you for your time today. How are you doing?
I'm well. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And it's been, of course, a little while since we last spoke on the company, and there has been some recent developments, particularly on Stonepark. So let's start with that and get a little bit of a catch-up on the drilling update that was put out recently. A lot of the drill holes in the original 2022 campaign have now been completed, and you're looking at doing a deeper hole here, pending permits, of course, but it has been funded fully through the recent placement. So what can you tell us about the latest from Stonepark?
There was a 6-hole drilling program on Stonepark by our operator, which I'll explain a little bit more in a minute, during 2022. That's completed. We were waiting results from the last 3 holes, and a fair question is, why do we not do that? But let me put this in context. Stonepark is adjacent to the very large 45 million tonne Glencore property, literally across the road on the Dublin-Limerick road. We have 5 licenses there, and there's about 5 to 6 million tonnes of 11% lead and zinc, so it's very good quality. Our partner there is Group 11, a Canadian listed company, which has 76% of the operation and operatorship. They have added a number of other licenses around us, and they take a broader program where they do exploration on their licenses and our licenses at the same time, which is a problem for us because then we're waiting for them to complete the program. So what's happening is now they had a very good discovery to the southeast of us early in the year in a place called Carrykittle, and a subsequent good discovery further east in a place called Ballywire. They are drilling that as we speak. It's adjacent to us. And some of the holes they drilled on Stonepark, the early ones, they came up with these names like Carrykittle North and Carrykittle West. I hope I don't confuse you, because they're trying to get a large deposit. 5 million tonnes of lead zinc is not deemed that commercial, not deemed to be commercial in Western Europe. So they're trying to double the size of it. Mm-hmm. Their discoveries to the south of us, about 5 or 10 kilometres to the south of us, is also small at this stage. If you combine the two and add some additional reserves, you have a viable ore body. They are quite convinced that the discoveries they have this year link into Stonepark, but that Stonepark is coming up to the surface. The maximum in Stonepark is about 300 metres. It's a very nice deposit, flat line, 300 metre deep, no problem at all, and very good, high quality. So they are currently drilling Carrykittle on their own licence, and they hope they will only release the results on the last 3 Stonepark holes when they finish and have the results on the current drilling to the license, literally adjacent to us. Now, the important thing is you asked me about this deep hole, which will be very close to Carrykittle North. They have been looking for quite a while on their licenses for a big area that will be where there's a fault, and they discovered it in the Carrykittle North drill hole at about 670 metres, deep enough. This caused great excitement geologically, not too much on the stock market, because they said this is the indication that there could be a large deposit there. Because if you look at the Irish zinc discoveries, of which there have been some fabulous ones and big ones, it tends to be discovered where there's a fault, where the actual liquid flows into this fault and this cracks in the structure and solidifies there, and it can be quite large. And this is the first time this has been discovered on either the Stonepark or the Carrykittle licenses. So they're going to drill this hole, which could be anywhere from 600 to 1,000 metres, once they finish what they're doing, the current program. So it will be late 2022, well, it's getting very late now, or early 2023. They want to wait for permits from the government. There's no problem with that. It's not that they're late or anything. They just applied for them. And so that'll be a very significant hole in deciding the overall. Now, it's speculative, but it's high potential, high risk hole. So I hope that's not too confusing an explanation for you. So from the viewpoint, 2023 will certainly see this hole will be the first part of 2023 results.
Okay.
Results.
So a speculative hole, but could be very promising. What's it generally looking like? I know that Arkle are not the main operators of the project. Of course, it is Stonepark. But I mean, what is the sort of early signs you're getting here? I mean, is it looking fairly positive? It's not without risk, of course.
Given that it's within their model, they've had this model to try and find another Palace Green, which is the 45 million tons across the road. That's what they're looking for, another one that size. And they think that this has the indications. This is the first time they discovered, if you like, the same markers, geological markers, that said they could be close to, and they've identified a location a little bit away from the drill hole in Carrykittle North, where they think they are likely have the best chances of hitting quite a thick area of lead zinc. From their viewpoint, they are very positive of it. Because they persuaded us it was positive, we agreed to take up our percentage, which is probably about 40,000 out of 150,000 euro hole. It's an expensive hole. We can dilute at any time that we want to, but we think this is worth preserving our interest in to see how this goes. They're very positive on it as a speculative hole. Now, I'm not trying to say they'll have a zinc discovery. All they want is zinc indications, because what you're doing, this is exploration. You're trying to chase down the Holy Grail, chase down the target. This deep hole was good in that it says, look, there's a target somewhere here. Now we have to try and find it.
Okay, so you clearly think it's worth the risk then, because you've signed up for this, you've raised the money, and of course it's not without risk, of course, but this is hoping to be drilled next year, is it?
At the latest. They were hoping to do it in December. And it depends on the logistics. It depends on the weather. You know, the ground can get quite wet, and they're short working days. If not, it'll be early in the new year. But from the viewpoint of Group 11, they are very eager to do it, because this is the first time that they have found this big fault that they have been looking for, a big structure. They have very good results like Stonepark on their ground. But if we want a big discovery, this is what you're looking for.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for sure on that announcement when it comes out. But that's an exciting point for both Arkle and, of course, the joint venture partner there at this point in time. So let's now just talk quickly about Mine River then. Of course, there's been news recently, and Mine River was originally a gold project, wasn't it? But it's actually almost changing now to a lithium project, isn't it? What's the latest going on?
We know this area. This is the Wicklow granites, which stretch from just south of where I'm sitting, all the way down from Dublin, south of Dublin, through Wicklow, through Wexford, down to Waterford. It has always been known to be mineralized, in that there have been a couple of old copper mines on it, one in the south in a place called Bunmahan in Waterford, and one in Avoca in Wicklow, and also a number of small gold mines. So we've known there've been gold and copper there. Also, over the years, it was known that geologists just taking samples had discovered lithium indicator minerals like spodumene and or pegmatites, but nobody was interested in it, because I need to tell you a little bit about the market first. Without lithium, the EVs can't work. Batteries need lithium. They're all lithium ion batteries now. And the minimum expectation over the next, before 2035, is that lithium has to grow by 8-fold. The supply of lithium has to grow 800%. That's the conservative one. More likely is 1,500%. But one way or the other, the supply of lithium is very low. Now, we've known this has been here, but we were focused on gold, and we've had some very good gold results and then some bad gold results. The nature of narrow vein gold mining is that you hit something very good because it's highly nuggety, and then the next hole or 2 holes or 3 holes hit nothing, and then you might hit something again. We hit a 51 gram drill hole in the last 12 months, which is really very good. But then the next one didn't find anything. So we've been focused on gold and continue to do that. But we had a big review of our licenses to see where were we going, because we were there for a long number of years now. We've spent a lot of money on it. And the idea of looking again at the pegmatite came up. But this has only happened in the last couple of years, and it's very hard to find a geologist who's experienced of hard rock lithium and who knows what to look for. And this kind of bothered us, because the geologists we know in Ireland are either gold geologists or zinc geologists. And they're the staff that we have, and most other companies in Ireland are the same. But luckily enough, in the last while, we found a young geologist who has been working for companies in Germany and in Scandinavia in spodumene and pegmatites. We got him to come to Ireland, look at our data. He identified 5 areas. Now, what we're looking for is granites. He identified 5 outcrops on 2 of our licenses where granite was exposed. And he went to these areas, sampled them, took 35 samples, and is very positive based on his experience that he knows he's found pegmatites. He has looked at them. He thinks he's identified some lithium. Now, it's all, again, low. It's relatively small grade in 34 of the 35. Four of the areas were very strong. The 5th one, which we would have good hopes for, he didn't find anything on it. But this is only the first initial sampling of these 5 areas. Mm-hmm. We would expect to have the results back from these before Christmas. And we will be disappointed if they do not say to contain within the spodumene and the lithium containing, this is the lithium containing minerals. We're fairly positive that once, early in the new year, latest, we will go back and take more samples over other areas. Now, the blocks are quite extensive. Again, we have 5 blocks there, so over 50 square miles. Most of it is in the granites and not at the edges, but we don't need a huge amount. And the next stage will be twofold. One, we may have to just do some geophysics to identify where the granite meets these metasediments through the overburden. And secondly, to identify further outcrops going down from the north to the south. It's all on the west side of our licenses. Now, to put this in context, directly across from us, there are 2 fairly large companies operating here. Both large Chinese lithium companies. Again, most of you will know that 80% of the world's lithium, if not more, is processed in China. And it's a monopoly, de facto monopoly. And they've been working there quietly for 4 or 5 years. And we're trying to replicate what they have done. So we're within maybe 6K of their work, cross on the other side of essentially valleys here in the granites. And that's what we will do. We know what we're looking for. We will do probably some geophysics to identify where to go, walk the ground again to take more samples to give us more information. And at that stage, we'll probably have to put a couple of holes in, certainly the high-grade ones we have. That will be the 2023 program.
Excellent. Okay. So if you just to sum up the year then, 2022, as we're approaching the end very fast, how would you sum up the year for Arkle? And just looking forward to 2023, where would you like to see the company in a year's time?
It's been a very disappointing year stock market, but a number of resource companies are hurting the last while, and this year hasn't been any better. So from the viewpoint of that, it's been a disappointment for us. The funding has been picked up mainly by people out of Dublin, a small number of us, and support from one of our brokers in London, mm-hmm. which is a worry. And we have been making progress. We had quite a bit of work done. 6 holes in our zinc project in Stonepark, another good one to come, an exciting hole to come. The licenses, we finished a 13-hole gold program towards the end of last year, beginning of this year. Results were mixed, as they often are in gold exploration, but we've identified strong, and this is what worries you. After all these years, we have another area to drill. There's always another target. We've expanded the potential resource in this part on the granites, not beside the lithium, on the other side, more on the east side of our licenses, which is now a 1.5 kilometer long strike. So we've done well there. We've looked again to battery group metals and have taken a couple of small licenses in Zimbabwe. Now, this is putting a toenail in the water, not putting a toe in yet. Zimbabwe is the 3rd biggest lithium producer in the world. We have a lot of experience in previous companies in Zimbabwe. It's a difficult country, but you tend to go where the minerals and the metals are. There's no point in going where they're not. We've looked at that. I will be there in the next couple of months, and we may expand our interest there as well. Again, it's the same type of structures as you find in the Irish ones. And we may even look at something again in South Africa. So 2023 will be very interesting. It's good to see there's been this revival of geological interest in Irish zinc and other minerals in it. That's the big plus for 23. I think a lot of investors are probably getting tired and fatigued of listening to the same thing going on without any apparent significant progress. There has been big progress on the Stonepark Kerry-Kittle area. That's quite substantial geological progress on that one. That's why we're putting our money up there. We're participating. We've liked what they were doing. This year we must have put, by the time the second hole, we'd be close to £300,000 into that. And if you take that, that's only a quarter. It means about £1 million has been spent on exploring in the area there. And we've reviewed extensively what we will do with our gold licenses and continue to work on that, mainly in Wicklow. But now the excitement is going to be, certainly in 2023, the lithium spodumene on the west side of our blocks. It looks exciting. We've got the money. There's more interest coming in it. First results will be possibly results from Stonepark before Christmas. I doubt it. Almost certainly results on the lithium before Christmas.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, John Teeling, the chairman of Arkle Resources, for that very comprehensive update.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good luck. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.